Good evening everyone and welcome along to TTML. We are here for Season 3, Round 10 of the Championship as we take in the Brazilian Grand Prix from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream tonight, and joining me in the commentary box for the second night in a row, can you believe it? It is Mr. Michael Edwards. Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, 2 nights in a row. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird being here on a Friday, but it's great to be here. And after the races that we've had so far this week, it's been absolutely fantastic. And Division 4 is looking to be going along the same lines. However, we are having some PlayStation Network issues, which is throwing spanners in the works.
Yeah, you can only see there's 13 drivers here within the lobby. That's because we are expecting low attendance as well, to be honest, here in Division 4 tonight. But I just want to start off the stream. I know Paco is probably going to be watching this either later on tuning in live. We're wishing him well. He is still recovering from this mystery illness that he's got. Missed last week, of course, because of a fever and a sore throat. Thought he would be back this week, but he is still under the weather, even despite testing negative for COVID-19. And Paco, if you're watching, we wish you well, my friend. We wish you well. What happened last week, though, in Mexico? Well, where there's a will, there's a way. Way won on track. That's terrible. We've just begun with the puns. Ryan in second and Khan in third. And what did that do to the championship standings? Well, Magnus had an absolute disaster of a race. Even though he recovered towards the top end of the field, he and Atlas Coppo are tied for the lead coming into tonight. There are no championship permutations except from one. If Magnus or Atlas Coppo wins and the other DNFs out on track, and that person who wins picks up the fastest lap and pole position, then it's pretty much theoretically done out on track. If Magnus though was to win and Atlas Coppo was to finish 19th, then you've got a whole different kettle of fish, because it'll be 4 points in it going into next week. So a lot at stake, I think, between these two Ferraris, and we've seen so far, Mike, that Magnus and Atlas Coppo cannot be split out on track.
I'm going to get a little bit reminiscent here of Leclerc and Vettel battling out at Brazil. I believe the 2019, where they went wheel to wheel, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. They are both in the Ferrari, so hopefully they don't come as close as those two did back then. But yeah, go on.
No, go on.
I was going to say, but hopefully we're going to see a great fight, and theoretically, still in the championship fight is Khan in third place, but he needs a lot of points here tonight to take himself into the final round.
Yeah, to be honest, actually, the top 6 are all still within some sort of championship fight, actually. So, obviously, if Magnus and Atlas Coppo fall off, especially around a track here like Brazil, then Khan, Ryan, Sligate or Jibby Storm could be within contention to try and get towards the top of the championship, but they really need to put in their best performances of their sim racing career, let alone try and win this race out on track. Khan, as I say, in third on 123 points. Both the leaders are tied on 162. Ryan in fourth on 111. Sygate fifth on 107. Jibby Storm in sixth on 101. Damon seventh on 88. Storm in eighth on 83. Zam in ninth on 78. And Maximus in 10th on 76. Frey Pepper and Traxi. Good to see Traxi, or Lukey actually, is back tonight. Traxi in reserve, he's alongside Frey Pepper, of course, tied for 11th on 10. Luke Ix in 13th on 69 points. Neymar 14th, 67. Black Phoenix 15th, 62. Way after his win. Well, there's a will, there's a way. It's the second time I've said that. 16th on 56 points. Tekken 17th on 33. Florian 18th on 25. Barcelona 19th on 24. And Joro in 20th on 23 points. Ferrari, of course, wrapping up the constructors. Needless to say, we don't go on about that now, because Constructors' battle is done. Racing Point and Haas, however, though, Mike, 5 points separating them for second.
Yeah, I was just looking at that, and I was also looking for the battle for fifth. Renault down to Alfa Romeo in eighth. Only 6 points separating those teams. Ooh.
Just looking there, goodness me, Way and Neymar both choosing their cars very late indeed. I don't think they've realised we were readying up here within the lobby, but we are getting underway, pretty much dead on time here. As Mike alluded to, we are having a few PSN issues, just a few friends list loading issues and what have you. But hopefully we can deliver you a high quality stream for the next hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes or so here out on track. And I'm sure the action is going to be fantastic at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, 4.3 kilometres and then 2.6 miles through 2 DRS zones, one down the start finish straight, one down in towards the Cida del Lago at turn 4, and there's 3 tyre compounds, a C1, C2, C3, softs, mediums and the hards. And this is quite a high degradation circuit, and this is also a circuit where you can pick up plenty of invalidations on your qualifying lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw it yesterday. I believe we've seen it all week so far. The challenges of this circuit. You got to keep the invalidations down to a minimum. You got to keep the warnings down to a minimum. And you got to make sure that you're good on your tyre wear as well.
Not sure what we're waiting on, by the way. Zam is still with the spinny circle on my screen, on the right-hand side. Is he there at his console, or are we having issues? Oh, there we go. It looks as if it's now going into the lobby, I hope. This is very strange, and now everyone's starting to go around on the right-hand side. This is very strange. No. There we go. We're beginning to load then into the lobby, or at least we hope we're loading into the lobby at this stage. Goodness me, if we now get a blue screen of death, then of course we'll try and restart the stream up. But there is the lobby, and there is dryness in qualifying as well, and we're already 10 seconds through qualifying. Nobody has decided to leave the pit lane just yet, but everyone you would imagine, if it's going to be a little bit wet in the race, should be going for a set of soft compounded tyres and probably for a dry or middle of the road setup if it's going to be wet in the race.
If it is changeable conditions, I'll definitely throw a spanner in the works. We may be seeing guys go for a more of a dry setup or maybe more of a wet setup, and that can really throw some things out the window, as I believe we got Khan and Neymar first 2 out on track.
They are indeed, yep. Khan, first man out on track in the Racing Point. Joining, of course, TRT, which was represented by TRT James, remember, earlier on this season in TTML Division 2. Neymar, in the meantime, his driving has really improved in the last few weeks. He's got a very good helmet as well. He always does these helmets each week. You can see him now wiggling to get warmth into those tyres. But that helmet, I've been informed, is a tribute to the very late and the very great Ayrton Senna.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And Ayrton Senna, not only an F1 legend, but a Brazilian sporting legend as well.
Yeah, probably one of the most famous Brazilian sports people I think you could have. Bar Pele, possibly, I would put him up with there, but there we are. Khan now running across the line to start us off on this lap. This 4.3 kilometre circle around here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, and he now comes through turn 1 and then through turn 2 at the appropriately named Senna Etas. It now comes through turn 3 and on the run on this second DRS straight down in towards the Cida del Lago at turn 4, where of course it was the scene running down here of Vettel and Leclerc coming together in 2019. Through the first sector though, not too bad from Khan. It now comes up through turn 5 and then up towards the top 6, pretty much turn 6 I should say, pretty much at the top of the hill now, coming through Ferradura, now through turn 7 and then through turn number 8 at Laranja, now coming through turn 9 and then down the hill once again, and then upwards up towards turn 10 at the pretty much the highest point on the track. It is Vico de Pato at turn 10. So now comes through turn 10, and looking very nice through there. Nice on the power, comes through turn 11. And now in towards Junsao, the final technical corner out on track to 50.8. Through the middle sector, we've seen lap times like this in qualifying originally in Division 2 last night. So that middle sector is very good indeed. As now Khan comes through the final couple of corners, where Alonso, of course, speed off in 2003. Khan now running toward the line. And that's a 107.1 to begin off the evening. That is not a bad lap at all.
That's a very good lap there from Khan. Putting the pace down early and almost matched it by Salt popping in second.
Yeah, Salt goes up into second, hasn't quite got the pepper to try and match Khan's pace. That's really bad, I know. Magnus, though, is out on the lap. He's in the Ferrari, the joint championship leader going into tonight. Atlas Copper was just behind him as well, out on track. The 50.8 through Magnus's middle sector, so not looking too bad as he comes out of Jun Sao. Be hoping to try and get ahead of Khan and Salt. I made a prediction, by the way, just before we came live in qualifying, that Magnus would be about 5/10 ahead of the field towards the end of the session. He's actually third with a 107.228. Atlas Copo just coming across the line. He just flicked up just about as I was going to get him, and a 107.5 puts him in fourth.
And I was just on board with Traxi then. Very indecisive. It looked like he was about to pull into the pits and quickly veer to the right to get back on track. I'm not sure what that was all about, but that's definitely our way to start another flying lap if you're going for one.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Traxi and Maximus just came in there with a 121.9. They're not representative times at all, so don't worry, they're going to improve fivefold on their lap times. There's actually Traxi run wide there coming through turn 4. I'm not sure if he might be having a few brake issue problems, possibly out on track. It just looked to me as he, nearly gets out the way there, the Haas. That was of Maximus, I think, who just came through. But now Traxi coming through at the top of the hill. Not sure actually if he is having brake issue problems, because look, he's going very slow and he's up in his EOS, down in his EOS. There's got to be some sort of issue here.
He seems to be just coasting at the moment. I'm not seeing much throttle application, but
it's like he's out for a Sunday night drive. Running through towards Jun Sao. He's 6.6 seconds down in his lap time, and he is speeding up now. He's invalidated out on track. He gets out the way of the McLaren that's coming through. That's Neymar, I think, that is on a lap coming through Jun Sao. And let's have a look then at Neymar as he runs up towards the final couple of corners. I don't think he's run out of fuel as Traxi, but now Neymar comes across the line and he puts himself up to 5th. Maximus, by the way, I think you alluded to possibly 107.8. He put himself up to 7th as well, as Traxi is into the pit lane. Not really sure what that was about, but it's not Sunday, it's Friday, and it's Division 4.
I was just on board with Traxi then as he was climbing up the hill. His throttle wasn't going all the way, it was only about half. So maybe throttle and brake issues on his pedals. Maybe needs to up the sensitivity a little bit to get the full deployment.
Yeah, just having a look in Division 4, in the Division 4 chat, nothing really being said actually. So, very strange, but Conrad on top, Salt in second, Magnus in third, Zam in fourth. Zam, by the way, improved to 107.4 in his first lap, so good lap there by him. Don't think we've got anybody else actually out on the lap. Tekken is on a set of soft compounded tyres now. He's at a 108.2 on a set of mediums. And we saw last night, Mike, with Scuba, he went from a set of mediums to a set of softs and improved over a second out on track to get pole.
Yeah, and that was a very good lap time from Scuba to begin with. And if we see Tekken do have that same kind of improvement, it's going to put him right up there with the big boys up there fighting for pole.
It is indeed, as now Tekken comes out the final couple of corners. In the meantime, though, Khan has invalidated coming through the centre resters. I think he's up the hill now and towards Ferradura turn 6. He's got a car just behind him, which is Black Phoenix, I think, on an out lap. Nobody else is out there just at the moment.
Magnus going very wide there again on the grass. Absolutely sliding through, I believe. Yeah, turn 11. Yeah, turn 10 coming down through turn 11. That's where Callboy, I think, lost it last night, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been the corner before, but still. Magnus now coming across the line to start us off on this lap. But we'll flick to Tekken, who is 2/10 up already through that first sector. 16.5 through the first sector from him, as now he comes through turn 8 at the top of the hill, in towards turn 9 through the left-hander, and then coming through in towards turn number 10 at Vico Tapasso at the top of the hill. Now just gets nicely controlled into the apex. Beautifully done, as he's now through the gears. Up to 6th, up to 7th, and now comes out to Jun Sao to 50.9 to the middle sector. Look at that for an improvement. He's 8/10 up already, and he's only got the final couple of corners to go. This could be an insane lap, possibly from Tekken. Khan is out on top. He invalidated, of course, through the early couple of corners, but now Tekken running to the line. Is he going to defeat Khan?
No, he falls short, but a 107.3 puts him up into 4th.
Yeah, and they've stayed on board with Magnus. It looks like a pretty clean lap so far. He is 2 tenths up.
He is indeed, and Neymar's retired coming out through turn 5. So Neymar's out of the session. Obviously, I think he's lost it coming through there, but now Magnus on the run toward the line. It looks like he's going to go Paul. Storm goes Paul, but it's better by Magnus, and Magnus by 2.5 tenths of a second goes to the top, and literally we saw there 2 fastest laps being set within the space of about 5 seconds.
As incredible as I believe we got Atlas now coming towards the line, and he's backed off.
Yeah, into the pit lane he comes. Black Phoenix improved to 107.5, 6 tenths up on his lap time. So good improvement from him. Sygate to the line goes 5th with a 107.289 as well. So Sygate goes 5th ahead of Tekken. The sister cars coming into play once again like they did last night in Division 2. It looks as if, though, we are beginning to get a lot of cloud cover over this circuit. And that means the softs are really not going to work at the ideal temperature that they would if it was sunny. We're halfway through qualifying and smack this out on top. Storm in 2nd, Bakan in 3rd. For these changeable conditions, as Jibby Storm really struggles his way coming at the top of the hill. Now in towards Jun Sao to 51.3 from Jibby Storm coming through the middle sector. With these changeable conditions, Mike, out on track, these softs aren't really going to find much in terms of improvement.
Oh, I was just on board with Traxy there. He just could not brake at the top of the hill going into turn 10. And he's straight into the wall.
And let's see, Sygate just came through there. There he is, just in the background of shot. The Sygate there in 5th, but Traxy, as you say, probably his wheel coming back to haunt him there. If there's no throttle input, there's no brake input going in, of course, to his setup, he's really going to be struggling out on track. I know we mentioned last week, I think, he was going to retire within the race. He didn't even turn up, I don't think, last week, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong in saying that, but Traxy out of the session, so unfortunate for him, and he's not going to get an improvement on a 124.3.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because every time I've gone on board with Traxy so far, he's not been able to go full throttle. He's only getting about half throttle on the bar, and he's just not getting on the brakes either. So definitely looks like a complete issues with his pedals. Might need to reset that for the race.
Ooh, Salt is up through Jun Sao. He's nearly a 10.5 up coming through the final couple of corners. Through 13, now through 14, and on the run to the line. Will Salt go ahead of Storm? Comes across the line. He does. 107 flat, and he goes a 10th quicker than Storm out on track. We've got Wham Bam Zam, who is invalidated. Well, he's not invalidated. He's down through the first sector. So Wham Bam Zam is going to have to wait at least another lap.
Yeah, and we got Khan now who's just started his lap coming through the centre S's now. Let's see what his first sector is. He's going to be looking for at least a 3/10 improvement.
Oh, he's got traffic.
He's got a lot of traffic.
Oh, Tekken just about gets out of the way to the left-hand side, and he runs wide, and I think Khan is going to be really, really angry with the traffic there. There was a racing point, I think, of... There wasn't a racing point there, actually. There was a Red Bull and a Ferrari that got in his way. There was a Red Bull just ahead of him as well. That was Storm on an outlap, I think. That's just ahead of him. Tekken was the one that got in the way. So I think if there's anyone to blame there, possibly, it might be Tekken for just putting off Khan just that little bit out on track. And as I said earlier on, invalidations are very hard to come by around here. But when you do pick up one, it can cost you.
Yeah, it's unnecessary pressure that you're putting yourself under every single time you step over the limits of the track.
Which is a shame. 6 minutes to go. Magnus out on top, Salt in 2nd, Storm in 3rd. Storm has just set about onto his lap, a 107.107. He was just saying that in the comment section as well. He's getting used to the PS5 controller out on track. And I wonder how many of these guys actually do have the PS5 and they're racing with it here tonight. But Storm coming through the first sector. He's 500s up already. So Storm really feeling that he's got the pace here tonight. It was absolutely woeful in qualifying by his standards out on track last week in Mexico. But in Brazil so far, he seems to be getting the hang of it. Through Ferradura, up towards the top of the hill at around here at turn 8, and now running through turn 9. Pretty much at the midpoint on this lap, there's a Red Bull, there's a Ferrari, so that's going slow into the pit lane. I think that's Atlas Coppola just coming off on a lap, as Maximus improved there up into 8, so good lap there for Maximus, one ball with Storm, running through in towards Jun Sao. Oh my goodness me, he's 2.5 tenths up and gonna challenge Magnus possibly for pole position. Storm is on an absolute cracker of a lap here as he now comes through 14, and then towards the final corner at 15, this final kink will take him to the line. I think this is pole from Storm, comes across the line, and he falls short in the end, a 106.910.
10th up though.
And he's coming through the final... Yeah, he's coming through the final couple of corners out on track as Magnus there comes through 10.15. Is he going to improve further ahead? Just barely. 400th of a second improvement. Very hard to try and find an improvement around here. But Magnus, a 106.8. Storm, a 106.9. Those two, if I've got to be honest, seem a class above the rest.
Yeah, it's fantastic laps from both Magnus and Storm. For Atlas, though, he needs a big final lap.
He does. He's down in 10th position. Cygate has hit a little bit of traffic. He's got Way just in front of him out on track. And Way, I wonder if he's going to get out the way. And he does. He does get out the way. Cygate now running through the final couple of corners through 14 and into the pit lane. Actually comes Cygate. Wasn't happy with that final sector, I don't think. So Cygate in to the pit lane, and he's still in 6th position in this session. Lukey, I think, has just started up on a lap, and the Austrian comes through turn 1, through turn 2, through turn 3, and he's absolutely all over the shop. He's invalidated his lap, and he has got hardly any control of that car at all. That, to me, seems like a very, very unstable setup.
Yeah, I was just on board with him as he crossed the line there. He did get a lap on the board just before then. He improved by a second to an 8.5. Didn't improve his position though. But yeah, that's not the kind of lines you want to be seeing through the center S's.
Definitely not. I mean, we've got a sort of like Hamilton line from a couple of years ago, but Lukey's line was just... It's like Mario Kart. It's like he was trying to avoid banana skins out on track. It's just totally ridiculous. Maximus has retired in the pit lane, so Traxi is down in 14th, obviously, with him crashing out on track. Lukey 13th, his former teammate, actually, Lukey and Traxi last season. Khan, however, is on an outlap, and I'm not sure, actually, barring Khan, if we've got anybody else about to start a lap. Black Phoenix, yeah, he's going to start up a lap. The Lebanese man, and we'll ride on board with him coming through onto his lap.
Yes, he opens DRS, about to get himself underway, currently in 11th place. It's not actually a bad spot to be in if you can keep with the cars ahead on mediums. But he'll be looking to break into the top 10 as we go for the center S's. Keeping it nice and tight. Opening up the exit, DRS wide open. Let's see what his first sector is going to be. And he's about half a tenth up on his time so far. Which will put him ahead of... Will put him ahead of Neymar. With Maximus being out as well, he could sneak ahead of the Haasman as well as we go through the middle sector. Now the elevation changes, unbelievably difficult to keep it on traction. You see a little bit of a wiggle on the back end there from Phoenix as we go up the top of the hill at turn 10, keeping it nice and tight through 11. And unfortunately he's down on his time, but he goes deep into 12, and that's going to compromise him all the way up the hill.
I think he's backed off. Yeah, he's going to come. That'll be in the end of his qualifying. He's into the pit lane, and that is him done out on track. Khan invalidated out on track as well on his lap. He's coming through Jun Sao. In the meantime, Magnus is out on that lap, coming through in towards Vika Tapato. Tekken, however, though, is on a lap coming through the first sector, and he's 1,000th up coming through the first sectors. Now the sun absolutely gleams through, putting the driver off. Coming through turn 5, and now Tekken, who said in the comment section he hasn't been on F1 in 2 weeks, but he's in 7th currently, so he hasn't lost any of his mojo just yet. Now comes at the top of the hill, coming through turn number 8, and then through turn 9, and then in towards pretty much the halfway point of this lap, coming in towards turn 10, at Vico de Pato, and now comes through this corner, just runs out wide slightly, gets a better exit compared to his first lap as he now comes through turn 11 and then into Junsao at turn 12, and he's 2 thousandths down. How's that for consistency through the middle sector? And now he's only got to find barely a little bit of time to try and improve on his lap as now Tekken comes out the final corner, runs toward the line now. Is it going to be an improvement from Tekken? Comes across the line, found it all in the final sector. He actually goes up to 5th as a result of that final sector. Nearly found a 10th and a half, and it's a 107.2.
Yeah, and Khan unfortunately a 10th down in the middle sector, so he's backed off and he's going to end this session. We've got Magnus, the next man, to cross the line as he comes up to the second sector split now. Let's see what this is going to be. He's up again.
It's not purple though, going through the middle sector. It's 400 up. Connor's retired from the session coming into the pit lane. But Magnus then, is he going to try and improve ahead of Storm? Storm is on a lap time behind him. Atlas Copper was 2 tenths up in the middle sector, I think, as well. Magnus comes across the line, and he does improve again, barely. 400ths of a second. Storm is 2 tenths down. Atlas Copper is 5 tenths up out on track. And Atlas Copper could be the shock. Atlas Copper comes across the line, and he goes second! A 106.8, left it right on the line, very late on indeed. Wei has made his way up into 5th position, a good lap from him. Tekken is down, Zam comes across the line, he goes ahead of Tekken and just jumps ahead of him. Tekken has run out of fuel, that is the end of qualifying, and it's a Ferrari 1-2. And these two championship rivals, they might be in the same team, but now all hell is going to break loose.
Absolutely, and that's a big lap from Atlas. We said he needed it, and he went out and he got that big lap.
Yeah, what a lap. 106.7, 106.8 for Atlas Coppo. Barely a 10th of a second separating. You might think, actually, to be honest, from Magnus's standards, that's probably the worst qualifying he's ever done in terms of how much time he's ahead of the rest of the field. 10th of a second ahead of Atlas Coppo out on track. Storm there in 3rd. Mersault as well. He debuted last week. A 107 flat from Mersault in 4th. Way there in 5th. Khan and Zam, by the way, set the same lap time. 107.172. They're 6th and 7th. Tekken and 8th, Saiget in 9th. Maximus in 10th. Neymar in 11th. Black Phoenix is in 12th. Jibby Storm 13th. Lukey 14th. And Traxi not getting a valid lap time in. He did. He was down low by 17.6 seconds. Really not a respectable lap from him. But Magnus out on top. Atlas Coppo in 2nd. Storm in 3rd. And possibly a three-way battle that we could be treated to throughout this race.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of experience of racing Storm, and I do know that he has got some pace at Brazil. So obviously with him trying to get used to the new controller, as you alluded to earlier, we'll see if he can convert that former pace that I know he has around here to this race here tonight.
Yeah, Storm, actually, I used to commentate on him in a league called FRL. Well gone from that league now. So totally, yeah. I'm not gonna view my opinion on the stream of the league in question. But let's just say it's poor, very poor. And this is why we're both here right now in TTML Division 4. I'm commentating of the action, and Storm, of course, in P3, about to do battle out on track against the two Ferraris, and it's beautiful blue skies and sunshine. And I can actually see, with Atlas Coppo, that doesn't seem right to me. Obviously, he qualified on a set of soft compounded tyres, but I can see a set of hards in that garage. So I wonder if that might indicate his strategy going into this race. Because we saw Chionis last night, remember? He tried to make 33 laps on a set of hard compounded tyres, and they went with pretty much 2.5 laps to go. Atlas Coppo, could he try and do the same thing?
I really hope not, because that was a potential to be honest yesterday to try that, and it didn't work. It didn't work.
It really didn't work, and if you did watch Division 2 last night, and if you were driving on the grid, do not try and go from the if there's a safety car right at the beginning, do not try and go the safety car. I've literally said that, actually, and that's now sort of just had a medium compounded tyres for Atlas Coppo. So he's heard me out on the track, and he's probably going to try and go two-stop, I think, possibly towards the end of this race. But the formation lap has now begun around this 4.3-kilometre circuit, and Magnus is out on top, Atlas Coppo second, and Storm in third. Top 10, of course, qualifying on a set of soft compounded tyre. Neymar, though, and Black Phoenix, the exception rather than the rule, they're on a set of mediums, 11th and 12th. Jibby Storm, Luki and Traxi, all on a set of soft compounded tyres for 13th down to 15th. Those are the guys that are going to be quicker, But Neymar and Black Phoenix, I think they might have a good chance off the start to try and get the likes of Cygate and Maximus.
Yeah, and I'm going on board with Traxy just to see what his throttle and brake application is like, and yeah, he's just not going over half throttle. Oh, there we go. There he is. He's starting to figure it out.
Yeah, you can see now, full throttle up the hill. It's like one ball with lap 1 around zero qualifying, but now, yeah, that's definitely now full throttle. It's full brake input as well. To be honest, he's trying to just feather the throttle going through the braking, even going through the corners. And it looks to me as if when he gets on the brake, that throttle just hardly accelerates initially, but then it gets going towards the end. Very interesting. We'll keep an eye on that, of course, as we're now through the final couple of corners out on track. Magnus, Atlas, Copo with Storm out on top, though, first, second and third. Of course, you can tune into Division 5 as well. If you don't want to, and if you want to stay with us, then Division 4 will be the one to go on board with. Mersault getting a bit of support there in the comment section. Jibby Storm saying, I'm just going to have some fun today. Fun down in 13th position around Brazil? You've got absolutely no chance. Mike, top 3.
I'm going to go with Storm for the win. Atlas second, Magnus third.
Boring. Boring individual. Storm from third. Atlas Copa remains second, and Magnus will drop down first and to third. But we now 5 red lights here in TTML Division 4. And it's lights down, and away we go. Magnus doesn't really get a good start, and Atlas Copo could have the run. Running down in towards turn 1, and it's going to be side by side, and Atlas Copo is going to have the lead. Atlas Copo has got Magnus off the start. That second phase of the start, really important around here in Brazil. Both of them give side by side as we now go through, as, don't know who that is, that's joined the lobby. Zam has now spun coming through turn 1. He's had a collision with Jibby Storm, and it's 3 wide running down in towards the Cena del Lago. Atlas Copo and Magnus are still side by side. Magnus around the outside of Atlas Copo. He gets the lead of the race. Atlas Copo, though, looking way, making his way through the field, and he's up into third. Storm and Khan and Salt running side by side, running up the hill. Very, very close contact. Traxy has had a spin coming out through turn 5. His throttle input seems to have not been working. Lukey is on the back as well of Neymar, but Cygate really under pressure now from Tekken. Tekken nearly went into the back there of Cygate, and Cygate in turn nearly went into the back of Salt, and now side by side down in towards turn 10, and Cygate just about hangs on for 7th. But I'll tell you what, Magnus has got a really good start, 5/10 a second ahead of Atlas Copo, and they've got Way right in behind him.
Yep, Way taking advantage early of the battle between the Ferraris and the Storm, getting himself up into third. Now, I think that's a very good start from Way. How many positions is he up? Oh, it says he's only up 1. Oh, he was up 2.
He was up 2, he's down 1 because, obviously, side by side actually just going in the background. Maximus and Tekken and Neymar actually, oh, and there's contact! Tekken and Maximus both injure each other, and they were saying how good their battle was in Division 5 last season, and it's come back to haunt them as they come through the centre messes. They've both had contact. Neymar went around the outside of both of them. I was just right on board. Actually, they just got caught in each other. I think it's as simple as that. Both of them have got going again, 11th and 13th respectively. Neymar, though, Mark was saying that Neymar, if he can keep it clean, he's got a great chance. He's in clear air at this stage, but he's losing contact to the battle for the lead of the race, which pretty much spans 1st down to 7th.
Yep, and I'm not sure what's going on for me, but I'm not sure if you're getting this, but the timings are all over the place at my end.
Mine are fine at the minute. Jibby Storm has spun coming at the top of the hill through turn 10. I can see that on the mini-map. However, Way on the back of Atlas Copo, and Storm trying to get onto the back as well. 0.3 of a second separating. They should fix themselves now. It's 1.1 seconds the gap for the lead between Magnus and Atlas Copo. New fastest lap of the race, of course, by Magnus out on track. Have the graphics fixed themselves? They're sorted. Fantastic. Storm on the back of Way. Not going to use up any overtake mode. We normally use the cautious term for Storm out on track. Cautious Storm we normally call him, and he's still in 4th position for now. But Way really, really excelling out on track. In terms of the position gains out on track as well, Traxy's getting 4 purely because people have been into the pit lane and have spun around him. 2 positions gained for Way and Cygate. Neymar's getting 3 as well. 1 position gained for Khan, and 1 position gained for Jibby Storm and Lukey respectively. Black Phoenix and him, however, are into the pit lane. But Magnus leading the way out on track from Atlas Copo in second, Way in third, and we'll get the tyres up there now. Mersault, though, beginning to attack the back of Khan.
Yeah, and Magnus already breaking that DRS. That's going to put Atlas under immense pressure, because now Way will begin to close in on him, and Storm not too far behind. And in fact, here goes Way with the overspeed into turn 1. He's going to look at the inside, and it's like job done, and the Williams up in the second.
Yeah, one-way system, second position, simple as that. Magnus from Way. Well, Atlas Copo, well, I'll tell you what, Atlas Copo's going to have a run in towards the seat of the logo. Of course, Way hasn't got any DRS. I think Atlas Copo is just going to sit and wait behind for now. But Way's in second, Atlas Copo third, Storm in fourth, and Storm trying to pressurise the back of the Ferrari as well. Really good start here out on track. Early contact, of course, between Lukey and Drippy Storm, I think it was, out on track, who also got spun around in that one incident. But Magnus leading the way, Way in second, Atlas Copo third, Storm in fourth. And Tekken, by the way, is saying the more laps he does, the better he will get. Well, he's got his chance. He's down at the back of the field.
Yep, and on the hards as well, and we hope not. We hope he didn't watch the D2 and think it might be worth.
No, if he's got sense, and I'm sure he does, he will pit before the end of the race. Because if he doesn't, their tyres are gone. Storm. Here comes Storm on the back of Atlas Copo. Yeah, it goes around the outside through the camber of the corner. Now is pretty much ahead of him. Atlas Copo is going to have a run. Actually, Storm's going to try and have a run at Way as well. But they fall into line, and Storm only gets one. He could get two now with Way just in the under pressure, in the pressure zone, out on track. And look at Khan. Khan is absolutely thundering past Atlas Copo, possibly running down towards the seat of the logo. He's very late on the brakes compared to Atlas Copo, and Atlas Copo forced out wide slightly. Good move that by Khan. Just let the room just fade away, as now Salt tries to go around the outside line on Atlas Copo, but it's not quite. Atlas Copo, he hasn't overworn those tyres already, has he?
I really hope not. Unfortunately, I don't have the... oh, no, Storm's in the grass. Just flicking through then. I was going to say, we don't have the... I don't have the TAS open for that, so your guess is as good as mine at the moment, but yeah, at the moment, Atlas going backwards in this race, and this is big for the championship. Magnus already, he's 2.4 seconds ahead, he's 2.5 seconds clear. Yep.
2.4 seconds clear of Way, but out on track, he's 15 points clear in terms of the championship. Here's Salt going around the outside of Atlas Copo. Atlas Copo is so committed on the brakes. How did he get that car stopped to stay in 5th position? Really good stuff. As Salt runs out wide slightly, he's going to lose all time. As now Khan is right on the back of Storm, running in towards the seat of the logo. Khan has got to be very, very careful on that ERS, because he had 0% running down the straight. Way got very wayward coming out through turn number 4 there at the seat of the logo, but Magnus leading the way, Way in second, Storm through at third, out on track. Jibby Storm is having a battle with Traxi as well, running down the straight, and there's Jibby Storm going to get Traxi. Oh, and Traxi goes onto the grass. He corrects himself. Jibby Storm tried to correct himself to try and go down the inside line, and Traxi moving across. Jibby Storm, to be honest, that's just very, very silly.
Yeah, I don't think Traxi, his wheel is working.
He needs
to the effect that I think it'd be safer for him to just come into the pits.
Yeah. If he's got a problem, he should retire out on track. Jibby Storm has actually retired out on track, and he could have retired that in the pit lane, to be honest. But such a shame that Jibby Storm has decided to retire out on track, and well, he's left the session. It's as simple as Magnus out on top, Way in second, Storm in third, Khan in fourth, Atlas Copo in fifth, Mersault in sixth. Traxi just getting caught on the grass. It was a bit silly from him to try and go on the grass. If he's not getting the full throttle, if he's not getting full braking, he should just honestly not have turned up tonight. That would have been the best option. He wouldn't have. If he didn't turn up tonight, I don't think we would have had that problem.
Yeah, and the thing... Oh, look how slow he's going now.
Going very, very slow. And he's still trying to obviously get whatever problem there is out on track, unless there's something going on, which is just really strange and really unexplainable to the naked eye. Lukey goes around the outside of Tekken coming through turn 1, however. This is a good battle for between the Williams, and a good stuff there by Luke. He's up into 13th position, gets the move done. Second now back to 14th, and Lukey actually, goodness me, concentrate on the road, man. He's gone nearly the same as Traxy. He's actually side by side between Salt and Atlas Copo. And Storm. And Storm and Way. Going around the outside line goes Storm. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Way outbreaks himself. Storm gets a switch back. He'll get the switch back again. Beautiful car control from Way. And look at Khan trying to get the inside. More like Chaka Khan there. As Storm chopped him off. As now Storm on the outside line of Way. And Way is going to go one way. And that's backwards as Storm is through and he's into second. Massault is right on the back of Khan as well. And they're fighting side by side. Way is now going to run up in towards Ferrajuva. This is all letting Magnus get away. Atlas Copel's still in the battle. And if these guys come back, Saiga and Neymar could come into play along with Zam.
Yeah, and it's only just over, just under 2 seconds now. It's looking like time fly down between Saiga and Atlas due to all this battling going on up ahead.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds out on track. Traxy has gone into the wall again. That's coming through turn one and he retires out on track. And he has got that car going. He retires though out on track. I've really got a problem of drivers retiring out on track. It's much safer and it's much easier and it doesn't cause enough problems to actually retire into the pit lane. It's as simple as that, and it's against the rules, I think, if you retire out on track as well. Storm in second, Way on the back of him in third. Running down the straight, not quite close enough then towards turn one, through the center rest is at 2, and then through 3. But Magnus has got a 5-second lead pretty much over Storm. Is Way now going to try and have a go at Storm? I think there's one answer to this. No, he's not. But Zam's going to have a go at Neymar.
As Way goes into the back of Storm there.
Goodness me, and Khan. Trying to go down the inside line. Storm though, look at all of this. 5.4 seconds. Magnus is just in a complete different class out on track at this stage. If this is not a champion's drive so far, then I don't know what is. Storm in second, Way in third, Khan in fourth, Salt in fifth, Atlas Copo in sixth, out on track. But Magnus leading from Storm in second. I will be back though in a couple of minutes. I'll leave you in the capable hands of Mr. Mike. I am on battle for second.
Okay, as we got Salt all over the back of Khan now. As they climb up the hill, DRS will be wide open. Khan does not have any ERS, so this could be the move for P4. He's going to look at the outside line. Meanwhile, up ahead, Way having a little peek on Storm for second. As they're side by side through turn one there, Salt and Khan. And Salt does manage to squeeze his way through, but Khan, is he going to be able to have a look once again? As here goes Way, getting through on Storm, simple as you like, and up in the second place goes Way. As Atlas, he's just chilling in behind us. Neymar there all over the back of Sidegate, and those mediums now starting to come into play for the battle for P7. But back up in this 5-man scrap for second place, Way still in front of Storm, and it's very close between these guys at the moment as Storm takes a nice tight line there, trying to open up the exit, but doesn't get the best of runs. But he will have the DRS, and he should have the overspeed to get the move done. But he gets a little bit of a wiggle on the back end, and that is going to compromise him as Lukey has retired in the pits, and that is unfortunate. But here goes Storm. Is he going to be close enough to make this move? No, he's going to sit behind, as Saige is the first man into the pits. Lukey has left the session. It's unfortunate there, but he did come into the pits, and that's the one thing that we do appreciate, that he's the first man to come into the pits to retire. But here we go, Storm having a look down the inside, and all this battling is just opening opportunity as Neymar and Dam for 7th still scrapping it out there, and it's getting a bit feisty out here, getting very feisty. Way unfortunately does have a penalty to his name, so he'll want to stay ahead as long as possible. But now we have to think about the pit stops. Who is going to be coming into the pits very soon, as Storm gets a little bit of a wiggle there, and he is behind Way. Is Magnus going to come into the pits? No, Magnus stays out. What about Way and Storm? Way doesn't come into the pits, but Storm's going to go around the outside with DRS. Simple as you like. Up into second place goes the man in the Red Bull as Tekken there with the fastest lap in behind. I believe he is a lap down already as he picks up a 3-second time penalty, and it stays as we are right now for second down to 6th. Atlas, he's just patiently waiting there at the moment, as I believe we just have James getting back to his headset.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a couple of overtakes happening. Storm getting past Way getting past Storm, and Storm back past Way as he gets a big snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 9.
Yeah, coming through turn 9 through turn 10. Yeah, Magnus, Storm, Way out on track. I tell you what though, Magnus is 7.3 seconds ahead out on track, and actually a Red Bull has spun, and that's Tekken that has ran. The Tekken leaves the session. 4 drivers retiring from the session. It's a penultimate race of the championship, man, guys. I mean, it's not the end of the season, remember. Way now getting past Storm, and is through in towards P2 once again. And we're seeing the yo-yo effect, and actually we're seeing the first pit stop. Zam is into the pit lane, and he goes on to a set of medium compound tyres as Traxy has left the session. On to a set of mediums will go for Zam, and Zam is into the pit lane. And I think, if I'm right in mistaking, those tyres are going to go to about lap 27, 28, and then for a set of softs.
Maybe Sygate was the first man to come into the pits to get off those softs, and he's coming out just ahead of Zam there. So Sygate getting out just ahead. We got Neymar on those mediums, and these are the better tyres right now compared to the top 6. So expect to see that time start to close in as it is now 2.7 seconds, and you can see Atlas just ahead, but all this battling here is just playing into Magnus's hands.
It is, and Magnus is just commanding himself over the rest of the field, currently out on track. Ways in second, Storm in third, Assault, Khan, Atlas Copo. I'm glad, by the way, somebody, Mark, got my joke about Shaka Khan, by the way. Magnus leading, Way in second, Storm in third. Storm is on the back of Way for second and third position. Assault, Khan and Atlas Copo in behind. Is Storm going to try and have a go at the back of Way? Not quite. If I was in Storm's shoes, I'd be saving up that EOS as much as possible. Zam in the meantime and Sygate up side by side, or they were side by side, as Zam absolutely blazes past Sygate. Pit window apparently is open for one stop strategy and a set of soft compound tyres. Jeff and these AWS graphics on this game must think we are absolutely mad, and these drivers are absolutely mad in the out on track.
Yeah, very strange strategy calls here from Jeff. It's why you just need to turn him off, turn him down, bring back Rob from F1 2010. That's what I say.
I'm just taking a drink, sorry. Wait in second. Storm in third. Storm's made a mistake. Here comes Mersault trying to go around the outside. Oh, he contacts the back of him. There's now Mersault. Much better ARS. Oh, he's absolutely sailed on by, and Storm's into the pit lane. He feels that his tyres are going. So Storm is in, and he's one of the first to come in, along with Atlas Copo as well. So both of them are into the pit lane. I would imagine go on a set of medium compound tyres. To be honest, actually a set of hards could get to the end of the race from here. It's not like Chionis of last night, but both of them go for a set of medium compound of tyre. Mersault now on the back of Way for second position, and Mersault got the move done before Storm came into the pit lane. So Salt is through and he's into third. Maximus is into the pit lane as well, and he's coming out the pit lane. Actually, it's going to be quite close, actually, I think, between Zam and Atlas Copo coming out the pits. It could be side by side. I think Atlas Copo's just got the legs.
Yeah, he's just out ahead and has the DRS, actually, from Storm, so that helps him keep ahead. And right now, this undercut from Zam has worked out to perfection, so it's got him right on the back of this... of what was the battle for the bottom, well, from second down to 6th, and you got to think, Khan, Salt, and Way may drop in behind as Magnus is now into the pits.
Surely a one-stop onto a set of mediums will suffice as Magnus is in, Way is in, Salt in, Khan in, top 4 in. Oh, and actually Salt nearly went into the back of Way there into the pit lane. I'm not sure if he's picked up damage because of it. but I think he's got away with that scot-free, which I'm glad to report. Let's see, Masol into the pit lane then, in the Alfa Romeo garage, on-goal set of mediums, no front wing change. So now he is going to be in 4th position. He's joined right on the back of Salt, but I tell you what, this is going to be an insane battle now for 3rd position out on track. Neymar's still going. Magnus is in 2nd, Way is in 3rd, but look at Storm. There is Storm on the outside line, Salt on the inside line. There is Way just ahead of him, and Storm has actually been overdone by Way within the pit lane. As Atlas Copa and Khan side by side. Khan just getting out of the pit lane as well, and he and Atlas Copa rejoin in 6th and 7th position respectively, but Storm has lost out to Way.
Yeah, I think that little snap of oversteer that he had really compromised him a little bit. If he didn't have that, he might have just nipped out ahead of Way, but a good in-lap there from Way, but Atlas Copo getting ahead of Khan with this undercut, and Zam right there as well. And this is going to be a very intriguing battle now for the net 2nd place all the way down to net 7.
Yeah, Traxy, by the way, just in Discord, just catching up. He had a problem with his pedals out on track, and it was similar to either last week or the week before where he actually raced and he retired out on track. So the same problem has happened again. In future, if I was to give one piece of advice, don't turn up if you've got a problem. Simple as that. You learn from the best. Way in 3rd, Storm in 4th, Masol in 5th. Atlas Copa currently in 6th. Khan in 7th, Zam in 8th position. But I'll tell you what, Magnus has got a 9-second lead over Way pretty much out on track. Storm is on the back of Way. Beautiful helicopter cameras. Neymar picks up his first 3-second time penalty of tonight. Storm, though, on the back of Way, running up the hill. Neymar leading the way, Magnus in 2nd, and surely you would imagine that Magnus is going to absolutely sail on by Neymar when he reaches him.
Yeah, Magnus, it's just been absolute domination. If this is not what you would call a champion's drive, then I don't know what you want to call it, but it's definitely a champion's driving worthy.
Yeah, and it really champions worthy. Speaking of champions worthy as well, you might have seen it in the comment section there. Jippy Storm leaving the session. Apparently he was complaining that it's league racing and not open lobbies. So that's his opinion. Well, we didn't see, of course, what happened in the early stages, but if Traxy has a problem and he goes into the back of you, there's really no way. Like what I did there? No? Way 3rd, Storm 4th, run on board with him? No? Yeah. Sodgers. Storm on the back of Way, 3.5 tenths of a second out on track, but now Storm gonna try and close him once again. Khan is getting quite close as well to Atlas Copo, running down the straight. Neymar still leading the way, Magnus in 2nd, and Neymar actually could be the one to watch out for in this race. Mark said it earlier on, if he is on a set of mediums and if he gains on these guys, he could be one of the guys to watch. He's going to be coming in, and you would imagine, for a set of soft compounded tyres with about 14-15 laps to go before the end of this race. I think Neymar could be with an outside chance of a top 5 here.
Yeah, absolutely. This alternative strategy from Neymar, especially with all the battling that Way, Storm, Salt, Atlas, Khan have been doing, is only going to play into his hands later in this race, as Atlas is borderline missing out on DRS, but I think he's just done enough to get it, and yeah, he has, but he can't continue to drop. He can't drop out of DRS from Salt, otherwise that's going to be a major issue. A Storm over the back of Way, not looking for a move yet, and as you said earlier, Storm just needs to save up that ERS, I think.
Yeah, Storm does need to save up that ERS. He's got 9% left. He had 0% left initially, but now he's going to have a go at Way to the outside line. Salt is in the background as well, trying to get both of them. A little bit of contact between them both. Salt gets caught out as now Way remains 3rd, Storm in 4th, Salt in 5th. Goodness me, I can't get my words out. Way in 3rd, Storm in 4th, Salt in 5th. Just repeat what I just said there. Way is just under a lot of pressure, I've got to say, by Storm. But if I was Storm, I'd be saving up that ERS, because look, Way has got nearly double the amount of Storm's ERS ahead of him. Salt has got more than double ahead of Storm, nearly triple the amount of Storm's ERS. Atlas Copo, Khan and Cygate have now joined the fray. Zam is on a 38% in terms of the tyres. It wasn't Cygate that was joining the battle, it was Zam. And Zam 38% on his ERS, as now Salt is going to absolutely sail on by. He's going to get both of them here. Salt is going to get both of them running down the straight. Look at this, for an outside move, running down in towards turn 1. He's got Storm. Can he get through turn 1? No, he can't. He actually only gets one in the end, but again, Salt really excelling out on track. Storm is going to try and get the switch back, but look at Atlas Copel in behind. Atlas Copel needs to get past these guys if he's got a chance of trying to get to Magnus later on in this race, but as it stands, Neymar leads Magnus in second, way in third. Salt is through on Storm and he's into fourth, and there is Storm in fifth position. But Salt, how important is that for his chances going forward in this race, even though he has got a 3-second time penalty?
Yeah, this is massive for Salt to get ahead of Storm, who he didn't have the ERS. This is actually could be big for Storm as well, because he's not going to be he's not going to be needing to use as much ERS now. But for Way, this is absolutely critical, because now he's got a guy behind him who actually has ERS, as Neymar now is into the pit lane.
And Neymar in from the lead of the race, and that means Magnus has now got over a 10-second advantage towards the lead of the race. Way in there second, Salt in third, Storm in fourth, Atlas Copel fifth, Karn in sixth. Storm tried out of the goal there at Salt, just outbroke himself slightly coming through turn 1. I've just got cramp in my foot. Ow! Magnus leading the way. Way in second, Salt in third. That is an absolute horrible moment to have. Running down the straight, luckily down in towards the cedar lock, I can rest my foot a little bit. Atlas Copel there in fifth, Karn in sixth, Zam in seventh position, and Lukey has made a really harsh comment towards Tekken in the Discord as well. Just to remind you, if you are watching this and you are too busy typing in Discord, send it into the steward's office. Don't complain. There's still a race going on and there's still 15 laps left.
Yep, and obviously coming back to the race, this was absolutely massive for Neymar. He gets ahead of Sygate coming out of the pits, and now he has nothing but clear air to catch up to this group ahead.
What was that, sorry? Again, I was taking a drink,
Neymar.
Sorry, I got caught out.
Neymar came into the pits, got ahead of Sygate, now has nothing but clear air to catch up to this group ahead on the softs.
5.5 seconds behind Zam, and Zam, and Atlas Copel's gone into the back of Storm! Atlas Copel into the back of Storm. Luckily, he's only got left side end plate damage. That could have been a hell of a lot worse. In fact, he's got left side end plate damage on that car. He just outbroke himself completely coming through turn 1, and championship hopes, possibly now one hand, goes to Magnus on that championship crown at the end of the season, as Atlas Copel just outbroke himself completely. It's as simple as that. Atlas Copel just outbroke himself completely, got left side end plate damage, and now his championship hopes might have just partly went up in smoke.
Well, as of right now, Magnus taking all 33 points away from this race.
Yeah, but Atlas Copel, remember, is in 8th position. We said he was gonna, he had to DNF for there to be a real chance for Magnus to wrap up the championship here tonight, and he just bangs in the new fastest lap of the race, as well as corner spun, taking a Kimi Raikkonen coming through Jun Sao. He's going to rejoin track, but safely indeed. Atlas Copel goes through and he's into 7th, but now Salt on the back of Way for second. Is he going to try and dive it around the outside through turn 1? He locks up coming through turn 1, but he's on the back. Neymar's not entirely out of this either. 4.9 seconds off the back of Zam. Zam has dropped off the back of Storm. I wonder actually, with that Karn dropping down, I wonder if there was a little bit of contact possibly between them both. But Zam's dropped a lot on Storm.
I'm not entirely sure, but for right now, the only thing I can say is Storm still needs to save his ERS. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Until he saves his ERS, that's all I'm going to tell him to do.
Karn and Salt pick up 3-second time penalties there as well. So Salt on 6. Karn, I think, has just picked up his first. Yeah, Karn on 3 seconds worth of time penalty. We're on board there with Maximus. And behind Maximus, a guy that's actually came under the radar in this race, if I've got to be honest. He's in 8th position. So I get another one that has came under the radar. We haven't mentioned them much, but we'll mention them now because they're both on the back of Karn. And Karn is going to be under a little bit of pressure out on track from Maximus and from Cygate. Certainly for Maximus at this stage, coming in towards Junsao, 2/3 distance through the race. Magnus leading on lap 24 we go. Wayne second, Salt in third, but now Maximus is going to try and range up onto the back of Khan. Running now down the straight. Is he going to try and dive it down the inside line? The gap is going to be there. Khan switches across the inside line. There's no commitment from Maximus trying to go around the outside. And Khan hangs on, but Maximus just warning them, he is there. But if I was Maximus, I've got to be honest, I would save up my ERS, and I would watch behind, because Cygate's all of a sudden caught up after a slight mistake coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, I think it was either Maximus or Cygate I was just on board with. I had a little bit of a snap as they were going for the center S's. But right now, look at this gap between Neymar and Zam. That is beginning to fly down, and with I believe Salt was 6 seconds of time pens. Neymar could get himself a podium here.
Neymar could get himself a podium. I did say he could be on for top 5. Lo and behold, I'm probably going to be right once again this week, even TTML. Salt is on the back of Way as well. This is for second position, however. Now Salt has got a lot more room for error, and Salt is through, and he's into second position. Absolutely flew past him, running down the straight. Bonus for him, he's getting DRS of Tekken as well, which is brilliant for Salt. And now he can pull away even further compared to Way. Of course, he will have DRS in behind, but Salt surely is going to fend off the attentions of Way. In fact, he's got more speed running down the straight. Tekken, he throws the AI car just into the way of Way, and Way has now lost 0.3 of a second because of that.
Yeah, and also with Salt being able to snag a bit of DRS off Tech, and that means that the top 3 pull a bit further away from Zam, so Zam now needs to have a good middle sector to get back within DRS range.
Yeah, Zam just going through Tekken's AI car, of course, out on track. Atlas Copo picks up a 3-second time, but he's down in 10th position out on track. That makes it, to me, Magnus is on 30, taking the full 33 points. Atlas Copo, I think, is on 10, if I'm not mistaken. However, that could change. And if that's the case, we're going to have 20 points separating the first 2 going into the final race of the season as it stands. That's the important part, as it stands out on track. So I think 10th gets 10 points. 19th, I know, gets 1, so it will make sense. Wade's picked up a 3-second time, and he's in third.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if Atlas may be able to come back into this race. Maybe some of these medium runners will drop off towards the end of the race, but 21 seconds, it seems like a big ask.
It does seem like a big ask, yeah, and on a set of soft combinators, he will close up, but there's no way he's going to get 21 seconds within the space of the final 10 of 11 laps of the race, unless there is a safety car out on track, and that is very hard to come by around here in Brazil. Magnus leading the way from Salt in second, Way in third, Storm in fourth. Storm is trying to get onto the back of Way, but Way just seems to me as if he's in a bit of no man's land now, because Salt has overtaken him and is pulling away, and Way is not really being gained behind from Storm. These guys are still within the DRS train, but they've got hardly any chance to try and gain on each other because they're that far apart.
Yeah, and Way's only just within DRS of Salt there as they were going up the hill. And right now, Storm is sitting pretty. He doesn't need to overtake these guys. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get a penalty. And Zam, for that matter, he's within an opportunity of jumping both Salt and Way here.
And Neymar could be in the line to jump all of them. 2.7 seconds now, the gap between Neymar and Zam. And there is Neymar just coming into camera shot in the background of shot now. As he comes up the hill and towards turn 6, he is absolutely speeding his way into contention, possibly for a top 5 finish. Magnus, though, there is no shadow of a doubt that Magnus is going to win this, I think, now. Salt is in second, Way is in third. If Magnus would have to have a spin like he did in Mexico last week from second position on the grid, under the safety car start, and he would have to bottle it, basically, out on track. That's as fair assessment as I can give. But Salt and Way are going to try and hunt him down, but I think Magnus is just playing with these guys, because that gap was, what 9.6 seconds 2 laps ago? It's now 10.6.
Yeah, it seems like Magnus is having a quick lap followed by a slow lap.
And yeah, 35% of VRS as well. So Magnus obviously wanting to save a little bit of VRS towards the end of the race. Maybe he could feel threatened by Atlas Coppo trying to get the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:10 flat for Atlas Coppo, his fastest lap currently. A 1:09.1 for Magnus. Magnus seems to have the fastest lap in his back pocket at the minute. Salt is in second, Way is in third. Saige now trying to get onto the back of Maximus, however, for 8th. The Maximus not entirely out of it on the back of Khan, but it looks like Khan has sped away. Maximus and Saige, though, could be the battle to watch. Storm and Way, however, could be the battle to watch as well as they're coming down the hill 0.3 of a second, separating the 3rd and 4th.
We'll have to see what the exit is like as they climb up the hill. And it looks like Storm just got a slightly worse exit there than Way, and Salt is running on fumes right now in terms of his ERS.
Yeah, 14% worth of ERS now. Use that up to pretty much 0, running down in towards the sea of the Largo once again. It's Magnus leading the way, Salt in second, Way in third, Storm in fourth at this stage of the race. I really hope you have been enjoying the commentary here in Division 4. Division 5, by the way, I'm just going to tune in and drop in on Mr. James Boyle and see how that is going in terms of Division 5. They've got more viewers than us now, and there's a safety car out on track, actually. Safety car is out on track, and Robin, the championship leader, is out of the race in Division 5.
Oh, wow.
And Maze is in second now. And it's raining out on track as well. My God. Absolutely unbelievable.
Oh, Assault gets very wide there on the exit, and that's going to allow Way now to have a go.
Yeah, and Way is a one-way system to try and get second position. Yes, there is. He's on the outside line, and Salt is just left in, trailing in his wake. And Salt, well, he's been gritted there for second position. Way is up into second.
Yep, he found his way, shall we say.
He found his way. Well, there's a will, there's a way. Second position, Salt in third, Storm in fourth. I really hope you got that gritted pun, by the way.
I mean, I did, Salt. You know, I got you. I got you. We're on the same wavelength.
We are. That's what makes us quite good in terms of being a commentary duo out on track. Goodness me. Magnus all leading the way. Way in second, Salt in third. Ranheim, by the way, from the lead of the race, has just pitted in onto a set of inters. Maze has stayed out in Division 5. And Maze is now in the lead of the race and could take the championship fight to the end of the season in Abu Dhabi. But here in Division 4, Magnus pretty much got, I would say, the championship now wrapped around his little pinky at this stage. Way's in second, Salt is in third, and Storm is in fourth. But look at the progress of Neymar. Neymar now on the back of Zam. Don't think he's going to be close enough, possibly running down the straight. He's got overtake mode up out. And actually, I'll correct myself because he's absolutely flying at Zam, running down the straight. He's not going to dive it from there. No, he's not. He decides not to go for it. Salt, though, is going to try and go for Way, running out through the centre message. And yeah, you mentioned Storm's got a penalty as well. Salt is now through, and he's into second. Storm, I think, is just going to hold back. And now Neymar going side by side with Zam. It's all kicked off all of a sudden. And Neymar, Zam just lets him through. And Neymar now through into fifth position. At least one prediction is going right tonight.
Well, now here's the thing. We know Salt has 6 seconds of time pens. Neymar could definitely get within 3 seconds of him. The question is, how much are these three going to battle, and how much is Neymar going to close in by?
We've got to think, it's about 4.5 seconds. It was 4.5 seconds the last time I looked with Neymar and Salt in terms of the gap. But it's around 4 seconds now, I think, out on track. So Neymar closing in. He's got to be within that 3-second range, essentially, on Salt to try and get him. But he's got other drivers that have got 3-second time penalties ahead of him. And that's going to be his biggest drawback as we approach the end of the race. Here comes Storm on the back of Way. Yeah, for third and fourth position. Red Bull against Williams. And Williams, of course, having a really good tribute, by the way. If you didn't see it in Friday practice for Bahrain, the Williams car has got a very fitting tribute to Murray Walker. And it was his words from 1996 when Damon Hill won the championship for Williams. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but it was something like, I've got a lump in my throat. I'll stop now because I've got a lump in my throat.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
And yeah, Way is trying to make Williams now come back on the back of the Alfa Romeo team. Sygate is through on Maximus. Oh, and there's contact actually. We join on board as Maximus and Sygate just rub against each other there. Very late to the action. I didn't see entirely what happened, but it looks to me as if both of them, one of them try to go and force the move on the other, and Sygate has ended up coming out the worst.
Oh, Storm's lost it.
And Storm's lost it again. And Neymar's up to 4th. Neymar's up to 4th now. Zam is into 5th. And Storm, that PS5 controller might be coming back to haunt him. He said he was getting used to it. Well, he wasn't getting used to it through Junsao on lap 33. Onto lap 33 of the race there, as now Storm down in 6th. And that could be his chances of a podium now falling by the wayside. As now, probably we go back on board with him. And he's on the back of Salt. But Salt really impressing out on track. He drove well in Mexico last week, did the Dane. And the Norwegian in behind of Way is trying to get him, but, and more importantly, Neymar, 3.5 seconds as Sygate speeds into the pit lane. Wonder if he's going to retire out on track, or if he's going to go for the fastest lap attempt. I would be honest, and I would say, go for the fastest lap attempt. He's got on Trisella Softy May as well.
Yeah, he's only going to drop 1 position by pitting, and he might be able to... Well, he might be able to get him penalties. I'm not sure what the situation is between the two of them. And oh no, that's Khan's out.
Khan's retired from the race. Is that going to deploy late safety car? It's a VSC. Come on, man. It's a VSC. Once to the final 2 laps of the race. Another wonder, actually. The VSC has been deployed. 3 laps to go. Khan has retired out on track, and that is coming through turn 8, where he's lost that. Oh, he's got caught outside curb. Surely he's just got caught in a bit of a spin, and that's him gone.
Yep, and it's a shame that the Storm had that mistake, because I had a pun lined up.
Oh no, what was the pun?
Let's see if he can storm his way, showing a bit of grit.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Well, he might be trying to go wham bam on Zam for 5th position, you never know. Storm is trying to create a Storm out on track. Yeah, these puns are really getting bad. Magnus still leading. He's been the king of the track currently. Salt in 2nd with Wayne 3rd. Neymar 4th. Zam in 5th. Storm in 6th position. And Magnus is surely just 2 laps away from a commanding win. By the way, with Khan going out the race, and with obviously Sygate's mistake as well, he's dropped down to 9th. Atlas Coppo is now in 8th position out on track. And that gains him some extra points to try and take into the championship battle. By my calculations, I think it will be 18 points going into the final round of the championship.
It's still going to be a big ask for Atlas in the final round, but at least he is starting to pick himself up a couple of extra points in this to minimise the damage. But this man leading has been absolutely impervious to everything, and he's gone purple in Sector 1. He's going for fastest lap again.
Fastest lap hacks out on track, I think, from Magnus, as Mersault picks up a 3-second time, and that is going to be important for Mersault. He's got 9 seconds worth. Wade's got 6. Neymar's got 3. Neymar's not entirely out of this, but his tyres are beginning to go off now. Neymar's got to push. If he has just seen Salt pick up a 3-second time, if that has came up on his screen, which it probably has done, Neymar now has got to push like he hasn't pushed before.
Yeah, and Zam as well, as Zam with no penalties to his name. He's looking to jump up a few positions here.
He is. He could even get 2nd position, possibly out on track. Magnus, though, coming across the line to start the final lap of the race. And Sygate, by the way, has taken the fastest lap off Magnus with 1 lap to go. So Magnus, if he wants the Grand Slam out on track, he's now got to push for this fastest lap. Sygate, though, on a fresh set of softs. Magnus on a wearing set of mediums, and 9.8 seconds the gap as Storm closes in on Zam, running down the straight in towards turn 1. Not quite close enough. Storm gets caught in the grass as well, and Zam just about hangs on. Storm tries to feather the throttle, coming out through turn 2, now through turn 3. Half a lap to go for the leader. Magnus out on track. Zam under pressure from Storm. Storm is not going to get him this time around. His only chance really could be through Junsao at turn 12.
Neymar's just over a 10th off, again within the penalty of Way.
And there it is. He's barely on 3 seconds. He's now going to push like he hasn't pushed before. It's now 2.9. We'll keep an eye on that gap. But now Magnus is coming through Jun Sao for the final time. One hand of the championship. It will go to the final race of the season, though, between Magnus and Atlas Coppo, because they're both going to finish out on track. Magnus around the final corner. He takes the win out on track here in Brazil, and a commanding win at that. Salt is going to come across the line to finish in second position. Neymar is hanging on grittily, 2.8 seconds. The gap is going up. Wayne now using up that overtake mode to the line. Neymar, I think, is just going to hang on to get second position, and he does, and it's by a tenth of a second in the end, and Zam has stolen it off him. Zam with no penalties. Look at that gap for second in the end in terms of the penalties. Barely 7/10 separating.
Unbelievable.
Oh. Maximus across the line in 7th. Atlas Coppo now coming across the line in 8th position. Sygate in 9th. Black Phoenix will come across the line in 10th. He has already came across the line in 10th. Storm leaves the session. He'll be frustrated by his spin. Atlas Coppo across the line in 8th. He takes it to the final round of the championship. Sygate to come across in 9th. Tekken's AI will not pick up points, of course. Sygate across the line in 9th. And Sygate just rubs it in the face, I think. And he just got the fastest lap as well over Magnus. And it's Magnus, though, who takes the win out on track. Drive of the day as ordered by the in-game fans. What is that for a picture? Neymar!
Yeah. Was he half off the screen for you?
He was half of the screen for me. Well, we'll just say that Neymar now has only got one leg and one arm, according to that photo. But there we are. You can see there on the right-hand side, he's actually now a full-bodied man. There we are. It is Magnus, though, who takes the win out on track, and he takes the championship lead with it going into the final round of the season.
Unbelievable. Absolute domination from start to finish for that man Magnus. And I can confirm, when he was pushing to get that late final lap, he did an 8.9.
108.9, 108.7 was Sygate's lap, and Atlas Coppo actually had a quicker lap than him. The Magnus, so he wouldn't have got the fastest lap anyways, but he nearly completed the Grand Slam. Magnus wins out on track from Zam in second, only 17.8 seconds in the end. Neymar in third with Way in fourth, Salt in fifth, Storm in sixth, Maximus in seventh, Atlas Coppo in eighth, Sygate ran off in ninth, Black Phoenix in 10th, ran off the top 10. They're the only finishers out on track because Tekken's AI finished in 11th, but he doesn't pick up any points. Khan is classified within the results, but he DNF'd out on track after a spin. Lukey, Traxi, and Jibby Storm all out of the race as well at their respective points. Disappointing, if I've got to say, from a Division 4 standard about the driving. It's got to improve for Abu Dhabi, and it's got to improve for next season.
Yep. 100%, and I mean, apart from Magnus, like, you know, it was always like a little instance here and there, little instance, nothing much in it though, apart from obviously with the issues that I believe it was
Traxi.
Was it Traxi? Yeah, Traxi was having. And I just gotta say, if you can't drive safely, you shouldn't turn up.
Yeah, if you can't drive, it would have been safer for you not to turn up, and then for you to turn up and then ruin somebody's race, like he did, I think, in Jibby Storm's case, which is a shame. By the way, I've just received some news from a certain League of Europe, Assetto Corsa League. One of our very own commentators, Mr. Aidan Carter, commentless, has won the Assetto Corsa Championship in League of Europe.
Hey, congratulations to Aidan.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Aiden. Really good man he is at Assetto Corsa, I've got to be honest. I wish I could learn from the best, but I really can't. And I really can't be bothered to invest my time into Assetto Corsa either, because I'm with you, lovely lot, on a Friday night here in Division 4. Shall we try and get the top 3 in?
Yes.
As long as the friends list works.
I mean, we can try.
We can try it. If it's giving you too much hassle, we'll obviously abandon the interviews if there's still PSN issues going on. But a fantastic race, of course, out on track here in Brazil. Abu Dhabi, of course, awaits us next week, and it is going to be fascinating to see how that championship battle is all going to unfold between Atlas Coppo and Magnus. Magnus is the man out on top. He is the king of Division 4 currently. Will he be the champion next week? Remains to be seen.
Yep, time will tell.
As I've just received a few comments there in the comment section. Let me have a look. That's the wrong stream, that's Division 5. Schmitsky, by the way, is leading the way. It's from Invictus and Shumi in Division 5 at the minute, and they're on penultimate lap. If you want to tune in for that.
Lovely. Good to see Smitsky doing well.
Oh. Mersault saying, no way, what am I doing? So stupid, he says. And the penalties. Penalties around this track. It's as simple as that, Mersault. Penalties around this track, I've got to say, are ridiculous. In terms of the if you overrun the car on the curb, like in Formula 1, you would get a penalty. But around this track in particular, the penalties really punish you, and that's what you've got to take into account next time you come here. Abu Dhabi's pretty much the same, especially going through that chicane in the end of the middle sector. Be careful. Be careful for the invalidations out on qualifying and out on track as well. Neymar, by the way, as well, was saying that's his best drive to date. Hopefully he'll be able to join for an interview if we can. Mersault saying he was second and he gets fifth. Yeah, that's just part and parcel of the penalties, I'm afraid.
Yep, and try to remember, it's a TFI Zam, isn't it?
TFI underscore Zam, yeah, I think it is. Let me just double check, hang on. Yeah, TFI underscore Zam 27.
Right.
Oh. Mersault just saying, by the way, in the comment section, that's racing. It is racing at the end of the day, but you should be really proud of yourself. Second position in the end, out on track. Fifth position because of the penalties, but still, an overall really good drive from Mersault. Could be a man to watch in Division 4 next season. And, do you want an exclusive on the channel?
Oh, go on then. Go on then.
To the 5 viewers that are now tuning in, one of them is me. For Division 4 next season, I will be back in the commentary box next season for Division 4, and I'll be taking you through the action for next season. There we are.
Right, for some reason, Zam's name wasn't coming up when I typed it in, so...
Capital T, capital F, capital I, underscore X, A, double M.
I was reading it off the standard. It's got a H in it.
No wonder you couldn't find it. Yeah, Mersault saying, by the way, that was his second race in TTML. He drove well last week in Mexico, and again he drives well here in Brazil. Could be one to watch out for, as I say. Matthias saying, Neymar saying, the man who's just joined us in the party, seriously have never thought he could be P3 out on track. Well, let's speak to him. P3 out on track, Neymar. You must be very happy.
Yeah, hope you can hear me.
We can hear you indeed. Make sure your party settings are on and everything before we conduct the interview.
I have make sure. I think
you've done an interview with me before, if I'm not mistaken. It should all be fine.
I can hear the stream. So.
You can hear the stream. Fantastic. Yeah, P3 for you, though, out on track. One of your best drivers. You said in the comment section there, you were P15 at the end of lap 1. Just what happened?
Was I P15?
Did you say you were P15? Oh, somebody said
P11.
they were P15. P15 in turn 1 and up to P2 driver of the day. Oh, that was Mersault. Sorry. I apologise.
I was P11 at the start. So.
P11 at the start, but talk us through that race, because it was a real race of contrasting fortunes.
I never have a battle in that race, actually. Just a few overtakes. So, I just drive. That's maybe why I come at the podium.
Yeah, you did get on the podium. I think it caps off, to be honest, the last few weeks. I know you mentioned to me earlier on in the week that you felt like you were improving week upon week, and that you thanked me for your for my advice to you. That just caps it off, I think. Getting a podium out on track just comes to show how far you've came within the last, I would say, 4 weeks.
Yeah. It was the center helmet.
Get all of these designs going. Honestly, you'd be one of those world famous like helmet designers with an F1 2020. You never know.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. Mike, any questions?
Obviously, you went with the different alternative strategy, the mediums to the softs, and it seemed like you just kept it clean minus the 3-second time penalty. But when you came out of the pits and that you had that gap ahead of you, you came out and cleaned it. Did you think that you'd be able to catch up enough to get within any penalties or anyone ahead of you?
No, I think about to get P5, maybe P4 if I was lucky, but I've never thought I got a podium.
Of course, mistakes up ahead also allowed for that. I believe most of the overtakes that you had to do there was just driving past people who had gone for spins.
Yeah. So,
Hey, honestly, oh, go on, Mike. Sorry.
No, I was going to say on you.
Final question from me, Neymar. Obviously, Abu Dhabi next week. How do you think you're gonna get on?
last season it was a podium, so it's one of my fast tracks. I think I can.
You never know. You might have hit the form right on time. You never know. You might get the win.
I will never beat Magnus.
You will never beat Magnus. Shall we move on?
I was close to do it last season, actually.
Well, you never know what might happen in Abu Dhabi. Racing, at the end of the day, anything can happen.
Boring races.
Boring races. They don't pay us too much, honestly, to go to Abu Dhabi next week.
No.
But go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, you too.
And we'll move on then to the man, of course, who, again, has dominated another race here in TTML. It's getting a little bit tedious now, if I've got to be honest. Magnus, though, out on track, a very commanding performance from you. And you're now going into the final race, the championship leader. That must feel really good.
Yeah, this race was a relief, really. Things hasn't gone my way I feel like the races hasn't gone my way in this league and the Norwegian league the last few weeks, so that was a good therapy session, this race.
a very good therapy session. I don't think you saw another car from lap 1.
No, I had one opportunity at an overtake, but Neymar went into the pits, so he robbed me of the chance.
A terrible Neymar. Terrible if he's still here. Ridiculous. Shouldn't have gone into the pits. You should have given them that overtake.
No.
Definitely not. But yeah, Magnus, really good performance from you out on track. You take, of course, the Championship League going into next week. That must fill you up with a lot of confidence, knowing the season that you've had. That I would say the level of inconsistency as well that you've had throughout the races this season, from qualifying into the race. Last week in Mexico, you spun under the safety car restart, and I'm afraid to bring it up, but you were second position underneath that safety car restart, and you spun. This must make up, and this must be redemption for last week.
Yeah, it's always nice to get a win. It's only my second this season, I think. So I think I have pole in every race except the one I was on the controller at Monza.
Yeah,
but only two.
Monster was a good one.
But only two race wins now, so I've lost a lot during the races, and I haven't been consistent.
Yeah, you're
the races this season, so.
Yeah, you're the second man actually to complete the double behind Ryan this season as well. So you're the only man, bar Ryan, to pick up 2 race wins out on track this season. That comes to show the level of consistency, of course, here in Division 4. Mike, any questions?
Just one. How did you manage to keep the concentration? Because if I was me, I would have done a Fernando Alonso and just set up a deck chair on the corner.
It was I kind of zoned out and just like I was driving like a zombie after a few laps there. So like I came onto the grass on the outside into turn 1 on lap 20 or something. It was early on the medium, so I lost a few seconds there. It was quite close that I actually spun, so yeah, I lost focus.
And of course, and of course, at the end, I did notice you really pushing for fastest lap, and you wasn't that far off.
Yeah, that second to last lap, I gave it a shot, but Sygate got it with the 2:10s, I think.
Yeah, you weren't that far off. He was only 2/10 off it. Your teammate also was just about a tenth quicker than that lap as well. So that was like mad pace, and you must have been just in the car, just driving like Mr. Bean.
I'm not gone with that comment that Mike has just made. You do know who Mr. Bean is, don't you? By that reaction, I don't think he does. He's a famous character over here, comedic character, played by Rowan Atkinson, and he drives in a Mini Cooper.
Yeah, no, I know Mr. Bean.
Goodness me. You're definitely not going to be compared to Mr. Bean going forward by me, that's for certain. Abu Dhabi next week, of course, though, Magnus. With one hand on the championship, pressure is on you to deliver. How do you think you're going to get on?
Last season in Division 4, I came in as a reserve for the last 2 races, Mexico and Abu Dhabi, and I won in Abu Dhabi, so I'm quite confident. Actually, I beat Faxlan last season, so yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks to drive. So.
One of your favourite tracks to drive, one of my favourite tracks to not commentate on, if I'm going to be honest. But there we are. We're going to have to force ourselves next week to commentate, I'm afraid, on Abu Dhabi. However you guys may like it or not. But thank you so much to Neymar and Magnus for the interviews. That is the end here tonight in TTML Division 4. And what a privilege it has been, of course, for Michael Edwards to step into the breach for tonight's Colcoms. And we wish, of course, Paco Suarez well in his recovery from this very mystery illness that he keeps saying he has. It's not COVID. He's tested negative for COVID. He had a fever and a sore throat last week, didn't commentate. This week he hasn't commentated again. Hopefully he'll be back next week for the final round of the season. If not, Mike, you might be back with me next week.
Maybe, but let's hope Paco is back for next week.
Yeah, I'm sure Paco will be back next week, of course. So across to you, Mike, for your final thoughts. Who was your driver of the day?
The thing is, we got both my nominations right in here right now. Magnus, absolutely impervious all race. Neymar, absolutely astonishing comeback drive from where he started on the grid, making the alternative strategy work. Flip a coin. Where's a coin? I got a coin here somewhere.
I've got a coin, but I can't reach it right now.
Then all is lost.
Then all is lost. Yeah, well, we'll just give them both driver of the day. How about that?
Yeah, that seems fair.
That seems fair. 50-50. The coin just got split down the middle all of a sudden. So both of you get driver of the day from myself and Mike in the commentary box. That is it then for TTML Division 4, of course. Please stay safe in this crazy world that we all live in. For myself and Michael Edwards, and from Neymar and Magnus in the party as well. Thank you so much for tuning in to TTML Division 4, and from my brain has just gone. My brain has just gone. Oh my god. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
Bye-bye.